All right, go ahead and read this one out loud.
A bacterial species will inevitably develop greater resistance within a few years to any antibiotics used against it, unless those antibiotics eliminate that species completely. However, no single antibiotic now on the market is powerful enough to eliminate bacterial species X completely. Which one of the following is most strongly supported by the statements above?
All right, what's our conclusion?
Um, I mean, it's a
More of a statement. I kind of was thinking this was the conclusion, to be honest, but we
yeah.
are
I mean,
going to infer
like
something.
because I kind of learned that there's like really no conclusion on must be true and most strongly supported
Yeah, because
question.
they're a statement. Yep. Um, what would what is this first part or our support really saying?
So if we're using any antibiotics against a bacterial species, then it's going to develop greater resistance unless you completely eliminate that
Yes.
species.
So if we have greater resistance, what does that mean happened?
The antibiotics don't really work anymore.
Unless those Wait, we will have greater, will inevitably develop greater, bacterial species will inevitably develop greater resistance if the antibiotics eliminate that species completely, right?
Unless, so if they don't eliminate that species completely, then they'll develop greater resistance to the antibiotics.
A bacterial species will inevitably develop. Yeah, so if this does happen, what does that mean? So if we do have greater resistance, what does that mean happened?
The antibiotics stopped working at one point.
Oh, I get what you're saying by stop working. I'm thinking did
Yeah.
not. I was just thinking did not eliminate like
Oh, well, that too. Yeah, they didn't eliminate.
sorry, that's where I was like, why are you eliminate species? Like, did not eliminate species, right?
Mhm.
And then obviously our contrapositive is if we did eliminate the species, that means that we did not develop a greater resistance. And then we have this additional second support where it says no single antibiotic now in the market is powerful enough to eliminate bacterial species X completely. So we cannot do that. So what does that mean for us? Like, what would you predict before even going to the answer choices?
So if there's nothing powerful enough to eliminate bacterial species, then it's going to have greater resistance or develop greater resistance if we're using those antibiotics.
Perfect. So what did you say for this one?
I said D.
Okay, why is that not the answer? I like that you went with a word that you probably didn't know, so you weren't afraid of it.
um, I don't know. I think I went through the other answer choices and I was kind of confused, but then I also realized that just because there's an antibiotic on the market doesn't mean it's actually being used. And D assumes that it's being used, and it never says in the stimulus that it's being used.
Excellent. Did you already review this question?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, good. So let's go through the other answer choices and tell me what you're thinking.
A, it is unlikely that any antibiotic can be developed that will completely eliminate bacterial species X. This is off the rails. I just eliminated that immediately.
Yeah, because it's telling us that we have no idea if it can be developed. It just means that it
Yeah.
has already. Perfect.
B, if any antibiotic now on the market is used against bacterial species X, that species will develop greater resistance to it within a few years. So this is what I left open, but I liked it in the beginning, but then I got to D and I got confused because I was like, okay, well, is it being used? Is it not being used? And then I just went with D, but now I can see that B is the right answer choice.
And when in doubt, we go mild, where B is a lot more mild.
Mm-hmm.
Where this is saying like this will happen. That's way too strong.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
C, the only way of completely eliminating bacterial species X is by a combination of two or more antibiotics now on the market. I cross that off immediately.
The only way. Yep.
And then E, bacterial species X is more resistant to at least some antibiotics that have been used against it than it was before those antibiotics were used against it. I like that was mild, but we didn't have any proof of this, so I crossed it off.
It's more resistant to at least one antibiotics that have been used against it than, yeah, because what if this isn't like this one I think would be a hard answer for a lot of people that didn't pick up on the fact that we don't know if it was used.
Mm-hmm.
Because people might assume that. But yeah, what if like we've used this antibiotic that doesn't work or doesn't do this or whatever, then we wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. What was 18 was the next one?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and read this one.
If there are sentient beings on